Hello and welcome to another video. I would love it if you would leave a like or subscribe if you feel like I've earned it. And without wasting any more of your time, let's get started in today's topic. Jojo's Bizarre Adventures is one of my favorite manga and anime of all time. I love the wacky world and the abilities that brings life to it. Yet, it wouldn't be Jojo's Bizarre Adventures without the Jojos. They have such a wide range of categories that they all fall under. I would say there's always a Jojo for everyone, regardless of your taste. I do want to focus on a certain Jojo that I feel is misunderstood. This Jojo is Jotaro Kujo. Most people write him off as an asshole delinquent. I would say maybe on the surface that would be a fair criticism of him, but I think Jotaro is such a deep and complex character beyond just that. Alright, so let's start at the beginning. We are introduced to Jotaro in part 3 of the series where he's locked in the jail on his own accord because of a ghost being around him that we later find out is his stand. His reasoning for being in the jail cell is to protect the ones he loves. But when his mother's stand starts to threaten her own life, Jotaro doesn't hesitate to travel all the way to Egypt to find Dio. So the Stardust Crusaders go out on a mission to save Jotaro's mother, but we all know that Kakyoin's here to get his MILF Hunter status. So the whole crew goes on an insane trip to find a time-stopping gay vampire. Even before the encounter with Dio, we lost 2 of the boys. Let's take a moment of silence for Abdul and Iggy. Then we get to the final battle between the last remaining Crusaders. Kakyoin, in an effort to understand what Dio's stand does, is killed instantly by Dio. Jotaro sees one of his closest friends just die, someone that was risking his life for his mother, or maybe other alternative motives, but you know, that's yet to be seen. This would be the start of the stress and burden that Jotaro will put on himself for the rest of his entire life. Jotaro will also see his own grandfather, Joseph Joestar, die in front of him as well, and the only thing he's capable of doing is fighting Dio out of rage. But in the end, he is able to defeat Dio, save Holly, and also forgetting to mention that he brings back Joseph from the dead with the weirdest blood transfusion of all time while pumping his heart with his own stand. This experience will build the foundation of why Jotaro acts the way he does. During this time, he had to lose 3 of his friends and will have to carry the weight of their death with him forever. In part 4, Jotaro really isn't the main focus here, but I do like to say, my god, this is my favorite look of Jotaro. He just looks so clean in that white outfit. My man just has better and better drip as the series goes on. What I do want to focus on is Jotaro's reasonings for being here. He is here to find out about the stand arrow and to find Josuke. There are a few parts that I think radiate the best of Jotaro. First would be the way he treats Koichi. My man absolutely loves this guy, always taking care of him, making sure he knows how important he is to him. I really didn't even think about the fact that Jotaro had a daughter at this point by the way he's protecting Koichi. The best scene for this is when Koichi is holding out for Jotaro to regain consciousness, and then he proceeds to wreck Kira. He talks so highly of Koichi like he is this brave, smart mastermind, which I don't disagree with, but I think it's like you just met not too long ago, and Josuke is literally his uncle. One other instance of Jotaro being kind-hearted in his own way is when he's fighting the rat with Josuke. At first, I just like to say this rat was able to understand Jotaro's time-stopping abilities so well in just a few seconds, but my boy Kakyoin got a hole through his chest just to understand how Dio's ability worked. I believe Jotaro had the ability to kill that rat no problem, but wanted to give Josuke the understanding on how to deal with real combat. I do think Josuke is incredibly smart in his own right. My man punched a hole through his own mother to take out a water stand out of her, then healed her so fast that she couldn't register what just happened to her. This is the way Jotaro shows his love and compassion, but we can all agree it's pretty fucking weird. In the end of part 4, the gang beats the villain Kira, they go their separate ways, then we move on to the next part where Jotaro plays a very small role. I would say that Jotaro here in a few moments really shows the impact of his journey from part 3 and part 4, and his ability to trust people is even more insane. You have to remember that Jotaro is going through the world stopping everything that has to do with Dio. When he finds out that there's a child of Dio that's still roaming around, the first thing I would suspect him to find him and see what his intentions are. I do like that he asked and let Koichi go out to find Giorno and see if he was an enemy or not. Koichi's words really helped Jotaro understand that Giorno wasn't an enemy and he was more Joestar than Brando. Because part 5 only has a little clip of Jotaro, that's as much as we'll be going into part 5, but now we're on our way to part 6. So this is your official spoiler warning, and if you haven't seen part 6, Thank you for making it this far. Go watch part 6. It's wonderful, and we'll get right started into it. Part 6 is where I would say I understood Jojo's character for the first time. I finished part 5 of the anime, and I felt like I couldn't wait for the next part to be animated, so I read the manga. And holy shit, what a wonderful part. The story centered around Jotaro's daughter, Jolene, who's a troublemaker just like her father before her. I understand why she acts out because Jotaro was never around. He was always busy with his work, mostly going around stopping anything that had to do with Dio and his followers. I want to point out a few spots that really show Jotaro's loving character. It may not be the most ideal way of handling it, but it is his way of showing it. First off, we know that Jolene's sentencing to jail was all part of Pucci's scheme to lure Jotaro in. But my man thought of the best idea was to give his daughter a stand arrow without further instruction? From this, I would like to point out a lot of people have completely different responses to obtaining a stand. Jotaro's own mother, for example, almost fucking died because her stand was too much for her to handle. So what in the world was his reasoning for this choice? I'm glad you asked, fellow viewer. I believe Jotaro understood that Jolene had a strong fighting spirit and would be fine obtaining a stand. Along with that, I don't think he was in the best position to run to her aid at the time. For some unknown reasoning, he is absent during her sentencing, so I believe he wanted to give her the best way to protect herself while she was in prison. The next scene will be the first encounter with Whitesnake. Jotaro time stops in order to rescue Jolene, but notices Whitesnake waiting for him to use his stand to protect Jolene. Jotaro at this point knows the entire outcome if he saved Jolene, which I would like to add a little bit of foreshadowing to this part. Jotaro will save Jolene even though he knows he's running right into Pucci's trap. This is love if I've ever seen it from Jotaro. He's willing to put himself in danger if it means saving his daughter. This is why I think he goes so far and away and is so content with eliminating all of Dio's followers, keeping his loved ones out of the crossfire and protecting them from afar. Jotaro has single-handedly seen what Dio was capable of and the terrifying power that many stands have, so he travels so far to not endanger Jolene and to keep her out of harm's way. I do think he feels that it's his fault that she is involved in the current situation because he wasn't able to squash all of Dio's followers and ending up endangering her right at this moment. Now that I've gotten this far, I like to give a big spoiler warning because this is going to be the end of part 6 and it has a huge deal with changing the whole course of JoJo as we know it. Alright, now that we get into the final part of my analysis, here we go. Pucci had just obtained the stand Made in Heaven, a stand that allows one to accelerate time, and the gang is completely outmatched by this ability. Jotaro has to find the perfect opening to use the world in order to stop Pucci. With the help of Diver Down, he is able to see the exact time when Pucci attacks. When he stops time, he sees that Jolene's stand was used for the attack. Jotaro sees Pucci within range to be stopped by Star Platinum, but he looks above and sees Jolene has knife pointed right down at her. If he doesn't push her out of the way, she will die when the time freeze stops. I just want to take a moment to literally stop time and see Jotaro's options. He can stop Pucci and literally save the universe and finally put an end to Dio's plan. I don't know how to stress this enough. If he stopped Pucci at this moment, he will save the universe. That is not exaggeration. He has the ability to save the universe. Then Jotaro sees his daughter, who is about to be killed if she isn't pushed out of the way. He only has time for one. If you've made it this far, you know what his choice was. He chose Jolene. Why, you may be asking? Jotaro was doing everything he could to stop Dio and his plans. He had the end within his reach. And I'll tell you why. He wasn't doing it to stop Dio. He was stopping Dio to protect the ones he loves. He has seen his friends killed in front of him. He's experienced loss. He did save the universe, but it just wasn't ours. It was his own. Jotaro protected his universe above our own because he couldn't bear to see his daughter die. He would rather have a universe where he saves her rather than see her get killed. Jotaro was a loving and caring person till the very end, a true testament of what it means to be a Joestar. I found it incredibly sad to see the Joestar bloodline of this universe end, but I wouldn't have wanted any other way because it was killed off due to not Jolene being his weakness, but for it being Jotaro's strength, and he felt like he did what was right. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I would love to know who your favorite JoJo is and why. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe only if you felt like I've earned it. I appreciate all the love and support, and I would greatly appreciate if you stay at the end to hear from our sponsor.
This video is sponsored by Naruto vs. Ichigo. If you want to support the project, there will be a link to the Patreon below. There are many different levels of support, most of which give you access to Discord, behind the scenes exclusive content, and work in progress updates. Thank you for anything that you can contribute.